GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
Here we go again, folks. Look at this, another GloryDaze.
Oh, yeah.
With PJ and Jim. It's very clammy, by the way, just to let you
know.
Very clammy,
just
as an aside there, that we, just to let you know, while we're currently recording this, it's quite clammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not as clammy as yesterday.
No, yesterday was appalling now. I went out for a walk with the dogs in my jeans, and I swear to God, I didn't even take them off going to bed last night.
Why did you have your dogs in your jeans?
Well,
Did you not let them walk by themselves?
Because they fit,
So stuffing a dog in each pocket. You'll go down that leg.
Down the leg of each drawer, and off we went. It's kind of like ferreting. Do you ever see them lads in England that do ferreting?
Why? I gotta say,
they
what
shove
is that?
ferrets down their cacks, and you see how long you can last before
they bite you on the...
Is it on the knee or whatever? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't know, before they start wriggling. I think for animal cruelty now, you can't hold them that long.
Yeah.
But it's a sport. Like, the Brits are into mad sports. Some of the Brits...
You would wonder, how those things get created.
Yeah, well...
I mean,
they've cheese rolling.
Yeah, but the mad ones that... At least they go back to the days of the Vikings, where, you were replicating somebody picking up a woman and running off with her and taking her home to
Finland
Viking
still
land
has
or whatever.
A wife carrying as a sport.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So wife carrying, and at least it's it's as mad as it is. At least it traces back to some sort of historical reference.
Historic rape and pillage. I don't know if it's
pillaging. What's wrong with a bit of pillaging?
I don't even know what a pillaging is.
Neither do I. That's why I've
I think
asked
it's just taking stuff out of a village.
But I mean, I'm trying to think. Where's the historical reference to putting ferrets down your trousers?
I don't know. I bet you there is. So I bet
was
you
there a ferret smuggling ring back in the day or something?
Now you see what has happened here is you'd say that to an English ferreter, and he'd be like going, "Oh, typical Irish. Really, just doesn't know his history. That the British weren't all bad. That ferreting comes from a royal blood." They'd give you some story. I bet you. They'd say ferreting actually comes from aristocracy. They used to go and meet the peasants, and they'd shove a ferret down their pants as a sign of solidarity, or there'd be something like that.
That's the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Well, I don't know the reason. I'm just saying that's.
Do you reckon they went through a series of animals and just decided on a ferret? Like, would they have gone through a situation of trying to get a sheep down their trousers?
Yeah, and then,
or a mackerel,
and then they'd be there going,
or something else. And
then they'd be like, "Here's Jim, don't say anything to him." He tried to do it. He tried to put a Jack Russell in his cack, so he pulled the balls out. So I wouldn't say because he's walking around.
Wants to choose.
Poor fella. Yeah, the dog thought they were. Anyway, they're gone now. So that's all I know.
Yeah, and see that lad over there? That's Richard Gere. Don't go near him with a hamster. That's all I'm saying. Or a gerbil.
He took it one too far. It was all about going down the trousers for a bit of crack.
Yeah. It was all good fun, and then
sure,
before you know it,
next thing you know, you've lost a hamster. These things. But this is the country that gave us Premier League football. This is the country that came up with rugby, essentially. This is the country that came up with cricket and we're sliding down the scale pretty fast now.
I think you've covered all three. I'm not even 100% sure about rugby. Do they own rugby as well? Yeah,
I thought rugby was their thing.
Football and cricket for sure.
I thought rugby was their thing.
Golf would be Scotland.
Yeah, golf is Scotland, and then all of a sudden you go but don't forget about the other great sports the English have given the world.
Yeah.
Ferreting and cheese rolling, where you meet up and you roll down.
For cheese rolling as well.
Cheese rolling, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the Dutch or something, or the...
Oh, no, that's England, yeah.
Is it?
Cheese rolling is England, yeah.
Yeah, but they also have given us, games that aren't in existence, aren't real games. They literally have taken that thing from the Harry Potter books.
Oh, Quidditch, yeah.
Quidditch.
Yeah.
And tried to make it into a real
and it's
life
a real
game.
sport.
And the other one, the best one I've ever seen. Have you seen this thing, right? This is absolutely true. I thought it was a wind-up, as in a prank to try and fool people.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's the hobby horsing. Have you seen that?
That is another one from Finland. Finland has a lot of this going on. Yeah, hobby horsing's big in Finland.
So basically what it is right, it's the head of a horse, a wooden horse, obviously, on a stick.
On a stick,
like a broom handle.
Yeah, like an old-style vintage hobby horse.
Like the way kids would have played back in black and white.
Yeah. It has reins on it.
And ironically, we're ahead of the horse show here in Dublin this weekend.
Yeah.
And they basically do all the things you see in a proper horse show. But it's just them pretending to be on a horse.
They have a weekend equestrian event. So you turn up, so there's dressage.
Yeah.
Which is literally them doing sort of their own legs.
Yeah, up on their tippy toes.
Dancing on their tippy toes and all. Yeah. And doing horse leg things. And then they do, high jumps. Yeah. So that's
the jumps are only about 6 inches off the ground.
Well, yeah, some of them now, they jump a couple of foot. Yeah, and they do show jumping, which is like the clear round, normal, they do all that.
Yeah.
And they race. They have circuit racing, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you have to do it all with
On
the
a
hobby
pretend horse.
On a hobby horse.
So you
basically a broom with a horse's head on it,
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and they're real into it. Like, there's proper medals. You win rosettes and everything
They
else
take
you
it
would.
really seriously.
Big time, yeah. Now, they don't do interviews because obviously, you have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's funny enough, it's
You
not.
have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that's where you draw the line. Somebody's prancing around, pretending to be on a horse.
I'd love to go to the horse show now with a hobby horse this week.
Yeah.
Myself. The two of us should do it. Turn up with the horse. Hey!
In full gear.
Yeah.
The jodhpurs and everything.
Yeah, I get it wrong. I turn up with his jockey costume. You'll be there in your jodhpurs and your top hat.
You'll be there in your colours.
Actually, that'd be brilliant if we turned up like that. Like, you were the gentleman. You'd be there with your monocle, your top hat, and like your fox hunt sort of gear.
Yeah.
And I'd be, what's the exact opposite of that? A tracksuit and a bareback hobby horse.
Yeah, a proper working class hobby horse.
Yeah. I'd be jumping over.
No even reins on it. A bit of rope going
You'd be in
around.
the RDS with your hobby horse. I'd be jumping over the shopping trolleys outside. Yeah, we go in together and we start doing we want to make this an official sport.
Imagine when that's being pitched. Imagine like somebody somewhere had to say yes to that. Because these things, if you see, you'll find them online. Honestly, if you don't believe us, people, check this out. Hobby Horse Championships or whatever. Right? They're in proper arenas with spectators and everything.
Yeah.
Like, who said yes to that when they were like, okay, so the plan is, right, hear me out, okay, it'll be like show jumping.
Yeah.
But with hobby horses. How do you mean hobby horse? It's basically like a broomstick with a wooden horse's head on it, and you pretend you're on a horse and you dance around.
And
Okay, and you want us to put it in an arena. In an arena.
And then
charge people in.
See, like kids. No, not like kids. It's kind of funny the way there's enthusiasts for things that are pretend versions of the actual thing, isn't there? So, like, people who are into remote control car racing instead of being into car racing. Do you know what I mean? So there are hobby horses for actual horses, and there's a few different things like that. You kind of wonder how people get into the model motorcycles instead of actual motorcycles.
What do you mean model motorcycles?
Well, people who collect the little
like dinkies,
like the dinkies and all. Look at that. That's a 1967 two-stroke Vespa original.
Wallander.
And you're going, no, it isn't. That's die-cast shite that you painted with a brush.
None of the bits in that work.
Then that doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. What are you talking about?
You Philistine.
Look at it, the little kickstart goes down and all. Yeah, but it doesn't start anything. There's no engine.
I tell you, the maddest one of all is the fact that they reckon that, the FIFA and all that carry on. Like online
Well, that's
gaming.
huge now.
They reckon it will become bigger than sport. They're trying to say that, like,
the FIFA World Cup,
the Sky Sports of the future, on Sky Sports main event will be, and it'll be two lads playing FIFA and everybody tuning in to watch them.
Isn't that mad? Like,
I don't get that.
We're
at
so
all.
clued out. I look at my nephews now, and my nephews, they're not allowed any of those game systems or anything yet.
Yeah.
But so what they do is they get me Ma's phone, or my Ma's phone. My Ma's phone.
Yeah.
Because
she left that to them, did she?
Yeah. They get their Ma's phone, my sister's phone, and they'll sit down and watch videos of people playing the games. That's their way of passing the time.
Yeah.
So they watch people playing. They watch a fella who's playing fake football. That's that's their thing.
Yeah.
They're like, no way. That they have the maddest names. I was watching their actual Maggot 42. He is unbelievable at playing as Brazil. That lad is unbelievable. Actual Maggot 42 is the best. He's not even really Brazilian. He's from Tala, and he's amazing. And they get so into it. So they name a Brazilian footballer from, like, if you said Rivaldo, they'd be there.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that? Is that a colour palette? They wouldn't have a clue. But you say,
and they are huge.
Yeah.
And all across
Dirty
all
Jacket
gamers.
300 he's the big football star of the day.
And it doesn't even have to be sport. It can be those shoot 'em up games or those.
It's more them.
Build
actually.
a city in the middle of nowhere games or whatever they're called.
So imagine there's all young people listening to this. Build a city of 40 minutes games. You know them games.
The one where you have to chop down a forest and everything.
But this is literally us being like the character we do when we're doing the whole, hey y'all kids, just two crazy cats here just trying to be cool.
Oh, man.
Don't change a damn thing. Just keep it slick, everybody,
Like you wonder though where the future of sport is, if that's where Like if as many people are tuning in to watch a lad play on a game station, a sport, whatever it is, you wonder where actual sport will ever go.
A game station. A game station.
I wanted to kind of encompass them all.
That's brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Get your game station 5.
Do you know what that sounds like?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lad who's trying to flog you a fake PlayStation.
Does it? Yeah,
See,
yeah.
This is the game station 5. You mean PlayStation 5? It's the game station 5.
A fella in the
It's
pub.
very similar. Very similar.
Jim, don't mind the PlayStation. The kids are all gone off them. They're into game stations now.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Game station 5.
What's the games? Look, doesn't matter.
It's from China. You know what they say? If the Japanese can make it, the Chinese can fake it. It's much better. This thing is it's the one. Yeah.
I should have done that now. I should have just what do you call it? Copied the PlayStation, sold it as game stations.
Game station. I'll tell you,
hot new thing.
It's brilliant. It comes with its own. Yeah,
it comes with a video.
Comes with a golf club and a ball that you can fire at the screen.
Yeah, it works great the first time, not great after that.
And it's kind of funny because we're in this weird place now in life where I think where things are changing at such a rapid thing. So that's the young people, but then there's the not so young people who are buying electric cars. And like, you know the way you and me, we're still Luddites when it comes to that sort of stuff. And like there's this new car brand. They have their launching. Build Your Dreams is the name of the car brand.
Yeah, I drive by it on the way to work every day.
Oh, do you?
Back. Yeah, because there's one.
Oh, they actually have a building.
Oh, there's one in Baker's Corner there. But you're talking about BYD.
Yeah.
They
actually have a building.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think they'd have a building. I thought you bought them on the internet.
No.
I thought
they took over. I think it used to be. Was it the Volkswagen or the Merc place? It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's along there. It's down from that cemetery and on the way towards Baker's Corner.
Brilliant. The tip. How do you know two old people are talking? Because they're giving you directions according to where all the dead people are. Yeah. There you go. You know the newfangled car place. Yeah, it's well, okay. If you're at the
Across the
you're
road from that pub.
You know where all the dead people are, right? Well, go towards the pub, and then you see something you don't know. That's it.
Yeah, it's that one there.
It's the thing you don't know.
Yeah, BYD. I pass it all the time. Yeah.
Oh, right. Have you seen the cars?
Yeah, there's only one model now.
Oh,
yeah.
There's only one
at the moment. Yeah, there's only the one model. I thought there was loads because I just looked in and there was loads of cars,
different colours.
I didn't notice that they were all the same car in different colours.
That's a bit. Isn't that's funny, isn't it?
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, but I would start with 3 models. That's where you fucking start. You give 3 options. You don't start with one.
Maybe there's ones because apparently they're huge around the world.
You couldn't do that with anything else. You couldn't go walking into okay. It happened to me in a chipper last night. Actually, I walked in and says scampi and chips. I swear to God, what not going to happen. And I was there going, right.
That was the response.
Not going to happen. I was there, right. She goes, it's way too late for that. I was right. Okay, I'll have
wait a second.
cod goujons and chips.
It's too late for scampi.
That's what she said, yeah. Well, as in they were all gone. I don't think she was saying, you won't sleep a bit, you fucking idiot.
I thought
you can't
it was
eat prawn after 7 o'clock. You'll have an allergic reaction.
I thought you were going to say that it was a bit like a McDonald's breakfast. Sorry, the scampi stops at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We don't do scampi after 7.
After 7.
Yeah, it goes off and on.
Yeah, we used to, but the chef had an allergic reaction and died. And then I says, okay, cod goujons. And she goes, no, don't have them left.
No, you can't have them before 8:30.
And I was like, right, so... I was there, what have you got? Messing.
Yeah.
She goes, all we have left is cod and chips. I was like, well, why didn't you say...
Yeah.
Well, it's not up to me to go through everything. You know, if you went to a trouser shop and says, you have them in a 32, no. A 34, no. A 36, no. All we have left is a 38. You go, why didn't you... there should be a sign.
But what you should have turned around and said...
Me.
You should have said, right, well then, tell you what, give us a cod, will you? And just cut it up into
goujons. Could you cut it into goujons? In fairness. And she'd probably go, no.
Yeah, no, it's the cutting up.
And then they gave me...
Costs extra.
And then she gave me... And I actually have a picture of it on my phone. She gave me the thing, the cod and chips and the whole lot. And I went outside, sat down and opened up. There was 2 wooden forks in the thing. I went back to get a knife and she goes, we've none left. I was there, so you just gave me 2 forks.
Yeah. Just keep stabbing it.
I didn't want any of this. You know.
It's quite the chipper.
So you should get her to work for the electric car place.
If
you get her working for Build Your Dreams, the L one.
We only have 1 car.
I'll have it in blue then.
Not going to happen.
You should have turned around and said, knife. You won't get that before 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We stopped doing knives.
Yeah, should they all be stabbing each other now here after 8 o'clock? With wooden knives.
You can't have one of them. What are you mad?
Man. Right, anyway, listen, actually, speaking of cars, funnily enough, we were talking about a car-related thing during the week when we were talking about, and I kid you not, petrol station enthusiasts.
Yes.
Right?
Who are slowly or quickly becoming my favourite people.
You might have thought that your average petrol station or service station was just, you nip in and you get, I don't know, fuel.
If you think lads who like to put ferrets in their trousers are mad, wait till you get a load of these fellas.
Yeah, this could become a new sport, I tell you. Also, we were talking about tourists, very touristy time of year, in fairness. During the summer, plenty of tourists here, plenty of people going abroad and all that, but a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say, a lot of complaints when it comes to the tourists. Not all of them make sense.
No, in fairness, it's this thing, the customer's always right. It's absolutely, like your man from Ryanair says, it's actually 90% of the times it's the other way.
Yeah, it should always be that the customer always thinks they're right.
Yeah, hasn't a clue what they're talking about. Yeah.
Also, on the holiday front as well, we were talking about holiday complaints, and not so much, this is kind of slightly different now from the touristy thing. These were people who actually have gone to the extremes of avoiding holidays for some of the most bizarre reasons you've ever heard in your life.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me. That's all I'm saying. Or you will hear me make my case.
And then, to be honest with you, on what could be regarded as a somewhat related topic, signs that you're getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of fits in with a lot of these complaints. It's amazing how age relates to a lot of these complaints.
But trust us, giving directions from the local graveyard is only the start of it.
Right, have a little listen. We'll talk to you shortly.
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
Dying to talk about this man I've just read about, to be honest. His name is Rich James Ross, right? He's a delivery...
Rich James Ross.
Rich James Ross.
Is the rich like a... Like Richie, like is it like
Richard, Richie
or
right. Richard, yeah.
No, it's not like a nickname that he's so wealthy or something.
Oh no, far from it. No, the man he's a pretty humble dude by all accounts. He's a delivery driver, and he goes all around England and the UK and all of that. He does a lot of driving, and he says he's now done it. He's seen it all. Nowhere else to go. He's seen all the service stations in Britain. He's visited every single one of them. Every motorway service station. All 95 of the motorway ones. All 400 A road services. The unlimited, uncountable B road services. All around the rest of the places of the UK. And he says he knows the very best. In fact, he's very famous when it comes to petrol station enthusiast circles. He's really big in those circles. He says he gets recognised all the time. People say, there's Rich James Ross, the petrol station man. Spends more on fuel than anyone else.
Do they say that? So
that's what he says,
is the petrol station enthusiast circle quite large?
Well, I wouldn't. It doesn't sound like it's exactly Taylor Swift proportions or maybe a Coldplay or anything like that. But it does. It has its own. It has its fans. And
petrol station enthusiasts.
Yeah. A lot online.
This has a bang of English John off it.
It really does.
Actually, did he not sort of voice his opinion on the best services?
He is a petrol station enthusiast.
Of course he is. This guy's probably his god.
Oh, yeah. I'd say he'd know. We'd say it's English John. Have you ever heard of Rich James Ross? You'd be like, have I heard of him? Oh, have I heard of him?
It's like asking me, have I heard of Bono or something?
Have you ever heard of the humble folk singer Bono? My God, what a question. Yeah. Might be a bit like that.
So what is it? What did he say? What is the number one? Of course, that's in England, though, is it?
It's in England. See, this is the thing, it makes you think about home. So he says the number one he's ever been to is the Mojo service station in Rugby. He says it's absolutely...
In Rugby?
Something for everyone, he goes. Something for everyone.
He makes them sound like holiday destinations.
He does. He says some of them are so good. His favourite ones are the ones on two sides of the road because you get to walk over bridges and all.
Oh, walking over a bridge.
Tunnels. He says the tunnels.
Way.
Oh.
Stop.
And he's saying that some of the subtle differences between the little chef on one side as opposed to the little chef on the other side. He says you really...
There could be different menus.
He says it depends who's on. It depends who's on, Jim.
And he's proudly putting, again, it's another one of those very English things.
Something very English about it, yeah. His hobbyist. He says, and he brags, he goes, I've spent £10,000 on fuel this year. How much have you spent, you little amateur? Or worse still, electric vehicle man who'd never even been in a petrol station?
How much has he spent in service stations? God knows.
God knows, yeah. God knows. He sleeps in them and all. You know the way to be travel lodges at some of the stations over there?
Yeah.
So he stays nights quite regularly at his more favourite ones. Yeah, I mean, we can laugh at them, which we absolutely will. But we've all got passions in life, and it makes you wonder, what's the best petrol station you've ever been to? I mean, Barack Obama Plaza in Ireland.
It doesn't make me wonder that at all.
Well, it makes me wonder. I'm starting to think about it. I'd say Barack Obama Plaza's right up there. Only problem, too busy. It's like an airport hangar. Too busy. Portlaoise is more superior, you know. I have to say, Portlaoise isn't bad. Junction 8's not bad. Again, just too busy. If you were going to ask me, pin me down.
I mean, of all the things I've called you, and I've called you many, many things, nerdy was never really one of them. You're an actual. You've got your petrol station list, have you?
Well, okay. Like if you're finished with the abuse, I was going to say that if you're going to pin me down, Junction 7 on the N7, just before you hit the motorway, it's got it all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not exactly on the motorway. It trails off. You got a back road into it. Lovely toilets, great selection from the deli counter.
I'd find it difficult to differentiate between service stations. I couldn't tell you what. I mean, I'd remember a few of them, and there'd be ones like in fairness, when you're on the road, you might think, when's the next services? I have to say, I don't sit at home thinking that, well, if I had to choose my top 3.
Come on. So you've never been on the drive around the country and thought, you know where I'm going to stop? You never thought that, and you've had it in your mind.
Normally I'm going somewhere where I intend to stop. Like, I don't know, on holiday or something. Or to a hotel, God forbid. You know what I mean?
You're not going to fill up your car in a hotel, are you?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you never thought that, no.
I tell you something.
The best thing about
your kids have an awful lot to look forward to. Where are we going today, Daddy? We're going to Junction 7.
Junction 7. Brace yourself, kiddos. You want to see the car wash in this place?
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
I was talking to John, who's on news this morning, earlier on, before we kind of went on.
Yeah.
He was only back from Gran Canaria last week.
Oh, was that what he was?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was away. But he was saying he was talking to somebody over there, right? One of the business people, whoever it was, a bar, a restaurant, whatever it was. And they were saying that if it wasn't for sort of people from, like, literally these kind of islands, as in, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, whatever.
Yeah.
The quote was that if it wasn't for tourists from here going there, that they'd literally close. They would close up.
You're joking,
the way
right?
you always assume that tourists come from all over the world
I would
to
have
go
thought,
to the Canaries or
they'd
whatever.
be full of Germans or Danish or Swedish.
He did say there was a little bit of Scandinavian or whatever, but he said that apparently without sort of Irish, English, Scotland, Wales, that sort of stuff, that they just close up. That's the lifeblood of the tourist industry over there.
I suppose anyone who's
thought that.
I suppose it makes sense when you've been there, because it's always Irish or Brits around the place, isn't it?
I suppose you do see a lot of us, yeah.
And now it being holiday season, all the mad, we don't send away our best every so often, do you know? We really don't. We don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't always export the good ones.
We don't, no. Most of them are grand, but then it just takes one bad aegis to show up the rest of us. And so now all these hotels and bars and some customs officials are starting to filter back during holiday season the stupid questions or the stupid complaints and everything that they've been getting over the season,
Right.
Like one guy who goes, every time I use the toilet in my room, every time I use it gets clogged up. For them to go up and say, if you please stop going to the toilet in the BJ. That is not a toilet, yeah.
Oh, jeepers.
He's like, what are you talking about? I thought it was a shallow toilet. And then there's it just keeps going.
That's horrific.
A fella who was in the Sahara Desert, right?
Yeah.
In the Sahara says it was outrageous he couldn't get a reception on his phone. People at home were worried about him. Outrageous.
Yeah,
he says if he had known, he'd never have gone.
Signal.
Unbelievable. What is the point in going to the wilderness if you can't even be low, if you can't even stay connected?
Yeah. I was trying to order a takeaway and everything.
His wife would be worried sick, he was saying. This is it, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it? And then there's a fella who had a phone in his bag, a landline phone. Which, let's be honest, who uses landline phones anymore?
Exactly. So you mean like a desk phone? Like an office phone, nearly. Office, yeah.
And when the customs fella says, why are you bringing that? He goes, I don't have an answering machine. He goes, I didn't want to miss any calls in case they were important. Like, honest to God.
Hang on a second now. Are these serious, or are these people deliberately?
Well, this is
are these meant to be some sort of weird wind-ups or
no,
practical?
they say this. Yeah, no, apparently these are true. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. One British woman asked if the sun in Spain was the same sun that they got in Britain, and couldn't work out why it was hotter. And then there was a fella in Florida who wanted to get in and pet the alligators. Like, this is who we send away.
Pet the alligators.
Yeah, can I get in and pet one of the alligators? They were like, no. He says, I don't mind the cold water.
Oh, geez, yeah.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Yeah. And then they said the plane, when you go up, you can swell your feet or whatever, your body.
Oh yeah, because the air pressure or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was mentioned by someone on the plane. Says, "Oh no, you swell and whatever." And the woman went up and complained to the air stewards. She says, "I'm only after getting this dress fitted. I can't not fit it when I land." Says, "I literally only got it fitted yesterday. I've been losing weight for months now, and then you have to tell me I'm going to suddenly blow up in the plane."
Wow.
Yeah.
I see what you mean now about us not necessarily sending our finest abroad.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
imagine if you had to go through a test before you were allowed to go on holidays. I don't want you embarrassing the entire nation.
Yeah. I
sit down there now.
Sit down there. I'm going to ask you a few
test.
questions. Yeah, and here's one you can't. Here's one you could never predict, right?
Right.
This fellow was booking his flight old style, so he might have been an older gentleman, I suppose, when it comes to travel agents and stuff.
Okay.
And he says, "What will the temperature be like in Crete in September?" And she says, "It'll be a bit milder now. It'll probably be fairly mild." And he goes, "Will it? Yeah. Well, I was looking for the heat." He says, "Joe, something. Don't worry. I'll go there with someone else." He said.
That's so brilliantly subtle.
Yeah, isn't it?
Takes you a second.
Yeah.
Somebody who'll make it even warmer.
Yeah, that's grand, right. So you're sending me to cold. Yeah, right. Well, I bet you I'll get a deal with better heat now. Well, you see. This place is a rip-off. You're keeping all the heat for yourself.
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
Somebody WhatsApped in because they said they didn't get it. The last complaint. We were talking about these tourist kind of questions and complaints.
They didn't get it. Yeah,
they didn't understand where was the funny in it, because it was, and it's basically that this person went and asked a travel agent what temperature it would be in, where was it, Greece or somewhere? In
Crete, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, yeah. And they said, well, it'll be quite mild. And they said, oh, I'll go with somebody else. In other words, as though your deal, as though what you're paying for, you know what I mean? It's as though the heat was an extra.
Yeah.
Or something that you could, well, if I go with, I don't know, Thomas Cook or something, they'll give me 31 degrees.
It is exactly that. So what you're saying, be 23 degrees? No way. Johnny Murphy got 40 degrees off Thomas Cook. Well, I'm not going with you. You're nicking all the heat off me.
So that was the stupid. But it turns out there's endless amounts of them.
It's endless. Like one fella says when he rented a car, he came back in an outraged. He says, I had no idea when I came to this island the water went the whole way round. This is ridiculous.
There's
nowhere to go, yeah.
The water went the whole way around the
island.
Off an
island in Barbados. He said, the water goes the whole way around the island. Absolutely ludicrous. So what's the point renting a car? You can't go back to the mainland. I don't even know if there is a mainland Barbados. Maybe I'm being as mad as they are now.
I like the one where your man said he was visiting Edinburgh Castle.
Yeah.
He said, you'd think they would have built the castle closer to the shops.
On the Yeah. You think they would have built it closer to the shops?
Oh man,
it's bizarre. It's endless.
They're brilliant.
And your man who rang the hotel didn't even get there. He rang the hotel in Rome and says, "How far is your hotel from the Colosseum?" And they were 2 miles. And he goes, "I know that, but on foot or driving."
Is it 2 miles?
Is it 2 miles on foot or is it 2 miles driving?
Car?
For God's sake. Can't get a straight answer out of these Italians.
Oh my God! And the other, you see, like, and the thing about it is, right? There's some of them that are actually believable, but I still think your man with the phone, like, because there's another one very similar to that where somebody was asked about, like, what's that sticking out of your bag, sir?
Yeah.
And he said it's the aerial for my portable television.
I
don't want to mismatch it the day.
Yeah, See, this is where you start going, I don't know.
That's where you have to question
whether
or not it's legit.
Does he think if he buys a TV in Spain and he goes home, it'll only have Spanish language TV shows on it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That was something we did at Naked Camera years ago. Went in and says, I need a new television. I don't like the one I have now. It plays Fair City omnibuses now. I was hoping for something a bit more educational.
There's so many good ones.
And
Ah,
Hadrian's,
jeez.
is it safe to go to the Himalayas? So the fella says, why would you ask? And he goes, I'm asking because I'm from Norfolk. What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
John, you're not from... No, you're not.
No, he's the other end altogether, isn't he?
Right, yeah. He's Portsmouth, isn't he?
Yeah, Portsmouth.
Right, okay, yeah. And Norfolk is Norwich, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, I think so. No, John's from the sea. John's people know the world. They...
So I wonder what he means. Was it safe to go to the Himalayas because I'm from Norfolk?
Yeah, another fella went mental because he booked a hotel in Orlando, which is in the middle of Florida, inland. And he says, I couldn't see the beach. And your man goes, there's no beach, it's inland. And he goes, that's ludicrous. Florida on the map, it looks thin.
So you should be able to see the sea
He said,
from here.
what are you talking about? We're just sure how... He's like, it looks thin.
I mean, look,
It's like
maybe
giving out there's no beach in Birmingham.
maybe it's one of those things where, look, maybe we're all guilty of it sometimes. Of it just doesn't. Your mind just doesn't work the right way for a second. Like the time to be fair. Remember that time you said that you were Elaine said she was talking to a mate of yours or something, and they said they were going to watch the darts.
Yeah, that's right.
And
she goes, the darts, like just what? People getting on and off them. And he said, what are you talking about? You just go to watch people getting on and off them. He said, no, you mental case. It's the sport. The
sport, throwing them at the board.
And that was the same when they goes, how big, they said they were reading a book and they asked her, how big is it? And she goes, how big is it? No, it's like about a foot. It's about a foot by a half a foot. What do you mean? How big is it?
Oh, you see, so maybe this is a touch of it in all of us.
Yeah.
Somebody claiming that they had somebody in a pub, lads in a pub last week, and a lady asked me for a bottle of Heineken and insisted on having one from the back because she said the ones at the front of the fridge were too gassy. Man,
yeah,
I have to say I love this stuff.
I do love this stuff.
There's great. There's a joy in the stupidity of people,
isn't there? It's glorious,
as I've learned over the years.
Of course you have. Well, you literally get.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
They're saying that once you hit 40, we always were, they're always trying to narrow it down. When does it become the official getting old phase? What is the age, the average age? You'll always have some flute that can run a marathon at 90 or whatever. You don't count. You're a freak of nature. But for the normal average head on the street, and apparently it's 45. 45 is when pain begins to turn chronic. What a lovely sentence that is. 45 is when you start to get aches and pains that'll never ever go away. 45 is the age that when you start...
That is so young.
So young, isn't it?
45 is so young by modern standards.
And 2/3 of people polled at that age were saying, like it's japers, yeah.
So literally, that's when you can get to the stage where you're like, oh, my feet do be at me.
My feet be at me. I'm doing me knees. Don't get me started on my knees. And then there's the back. And every time I breathe in, I get a headache.
You're saying you can't, these are not pains that you can say, right, I'll have them fixed.
No, these are
going to stay.
Chronic. This is the beginning of your chronic aging process. The part of aging that is just the constant physical reminder that you are never going to be again what you once were.
Yeah,
Isn't it glorious?
You'll never be that athlete that you always thought you would be. You never got around to actually doing any training, but still, you thought you had it in you.
Coulda.
If I'd have tried.
If I'd have made a half an effort, I'd have been able to beat a bear.
And now you have to finally accept.
And now you have
it's
to
never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
Pain's never going away.
And they're saying it's also the age where a lot of people, I think it happens before that though, you start to make noises getting out of beds and chairs and stuff. That happens even earlier.
Yeah.
That happens in I hate to say it to people who are, about to embark onto these, but that happens before you're 40. You start to, what's hard to happen to me now at 48 is, them noises you make when you stand up and sit down and you go,
Yeah.
I'd be just sitting there doing nothing. And then I put down my phone and go, You know,
It is
and I haven't
strange the
even
way
done anything.
Those things creep up on you, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Like out of nowhere, you don't like. It's not. You don't know where or when they might happen.
No.
But suddenly, you just one day you go to pick something up, and it's like,
You're like, oh, for God's sake, yeah. Yeah, you're there.
whew.
Look-
And then you stand up and you're dizzy.
Yeah, or you do that thing, you know, you go, I'm bursting to go to the toilet. Oh, God. I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah.
Bursting to go to the toilet for 2 hours. I'm just going to sit here bursting for 2 hours because it's easier than getting to my feet and walking 10 metres.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here bursting, uncomfortable, trying to not to think about it, yeah.
Look, there's David Newbridge there now. He's a ray of light today.
Great, yeah.
He says, I think 26 to 30 is generally accepted to be the sporting and athletic peak. So really, it's all downhill after 30.
Ah, Dave. Gee, I mean, I'm over the hill now, according to these, regardless. But for God's sake, for someone listening to this who's 29, you can't be telling them they're about to hit an accelerated age
That's
process
it,
in the
yeah.
next 6 months.
You're about to fall off a cliff.
Ah, yeah, no, yeah, God.
I always used to judge. I always thought that the sort of age thing kicked in when you first felt a draft. I've said that many times.
Jim
That-
always talks about
literally. that
Jim
is the
still remembers the first time he felt a draft. It's like the first time.
It was horror.
Yeah,
Horror
yeah.
it was.
He was sitting with his son. He tells the story. He tells the story a lot. He was sitting with his son, and they were and the son was chatting. He couldn't even hear what he was saying. And then the son was like,
Suddenly,
he
all your attention's
said,
focused
"Come
on
here, you.
the draft.
Can you feel a draft?" there?" It's like his son Dan. Was it Dan? It was like
It could have been Dan
could have been
or
Dan.
Dave,
See, he
I
can't
don't
even
know.
remember that. He was so distracted by the draft. He couldn't even remember what son. Maybe it wasn't a son. Maybe it was a guard. Yeah, and you know, you start doing these ridiculous. You start saying things you thought you'd never say. I actually said to someone over the last 2 years, I genuinely looked at a radiator and I went, "Were you playing with that?"
That's
Imagine, like, to Kelly, "Are you
Yeah.
playing with that?" And she, as if she was going to go, "Yeah, you know how it is." Me and the girls had a night, got some prosecco in, having a bit of a blast, and we thought, how could we not play with the radiator? We're listening to Tina Turner. How could we not get the radiators
That's
involved?
literally the first place you go for some fun is the radiator.
The radiator, yeah.
It's like I was thinking about it yesterday. Actually, that it's the ultimate old thing that you say, whatever about feeling aches and pains. But you know when you hear yourself say something, and you actually embarrass yourself that you said it, right?
Yeah.
It's where you turn around to somebody and say, "You should come up and see me grass."
Yeah, come and see me grass. You want-
Right. So that's bad enough. You said you should come up and see me just because you planted your new grass or whatever. You should come up and see me grass. Saying that to somebody,
Yeah.
and then them coming, "Oh yeah, absolutely, I must be old."
I
You
will.
think, so not only are you old, you've
Yeah.
got old
Yeah,
friends.
now there's someone after going into his missus and saying, "You won't believe what Jim's after doing to his grass." They're like, "What?" "I don't know, but I can't wait to see it."
Glory Days. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
I have to say, I am, because it's been such bad weather, I am missing the kind of whole sort of, sun holiday.
Ah, me too.
bit.
Yeah, missing it this year,
But what I would say is, right, I was talking to John the other day, because John's not long back from holiday. Newsy John, right? I was saying he was away in Gran Canaria or whatever. And he was saying, like, similar to us, that, yes, it's brilliant, right? But all of a sudden, these things like, how long's the flight again? Starts to come into
starts
your head.
creep. Yeah.
And suddenly airports that were once kind of like, exciting or whatever become, oh, yeah, but man.
You're like, "Oh, this kip now," and these bleeding kids are going, "How we go?" Oh, you start thinking about stuff,
Yeah. So, like, there's the buzz of the holiday thing of like, oh, getting away, sunshine, brilliant, fantastic, all that, all good stuff, oh, a few jars, nice
Yeah.
grub. And then there's the stuff that just goes either side of it that the closer you get to having to do it
Yeah.
becomes more and more, it weighs
It's
heavier on
it's
you.
so anxiety ridden. You start thinking it's not worth going on holiday anyway.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Like, you know what I mean? And I've definitely been that soldier a couple of times. I get online. Ooh, look at this place. Look, oh my God, you can pet a goat or whatever it is that you be into. And then you start booking the holiday and you start, oh yeah, and the way the website starts going. And would you like to do a car? Because don't forget, it's a 2-hour drive. And Dom, would you like? And Dom, whoa, look at this lovely, expensive hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the add-ons? Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you everything costs more than you think. And then they're saying there's like a lot of worries that people have that genuinely they think I'm not going. So like forgetting, this is stupid stuff though. People start going, "I'm not going on holidays. Last time I went, I forgot to clear out the fridge, and everything went mouldy.
Here.
It took me an hour to clean up, or all the plants died. Who's going to look after the plants? Who's
Well,
going to water me plants?
That's,
You know?
no, I have to say that it wouldn't be something that would immediately jump to my head.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you as a dog owner, that must be, you have to do whole doggy daycare stuff, do you?
Well, no, see,
if you go on holidays.
I'm lucky to have been such a terrible, influence in so many people's lives. There's, my ex, is quite
happy to take them off.
Yeah, she's like, she knows what an inadequate old fool I am. So there you go.
But like I'm saying, for people with pets.
Yeah, I know, that's hard. It is
like
hard.
You do have to suddenly start, God, now that would be... I'd say if I had pets now, that might be one of those things that would weigh heavy, all right.
Yeah, like, it is, honestly.
These are reasons now that you'd actually say, no, I'm not going to go.
Yeah, I'm not going, yeah.
I'd say that'd be up there for a lot of people.
It's Green Bin Day. Imagine, it's Green Bin Day next Wednesday.
Here.
And I can't, because we're after missing one already. I can't. It'd drive me mad. Oh, these are the types of things I'd be doing. I'd be here, listen, do I want a week in the sun, or do I just want that bin emptied? That's middle age kicking right in, isn't it?
Now that's wow. That's
2 weeks waiting on it. You missed that for 1 week, Jim. Forget about it. It's go 90. It's 3 months catching up, breaking and ripping things into little pieces to fit it all in.
That has me thinking I was bad. God, I wouldn't be that bad now that I'd worry I'd miss bin day.
Yeah, what about this then, right? You're about to go, and then you suddenly just booked your holiday tickets, and you realise, oh my God, I'm after booking that new pair of trousers off Amazon. I bet you, well, no one buys trousers on Amazon. Well, a new pair of trousers off ASOS or something.
Right.
And what if they arrive now, and then we're gone? They'll be sitting outside for a week, and then they'll see the milkman wearing them when I get back. Someone will rob me trousers.
Are you saying that's a reason somebody's given for not going on holiday?
Okay, well, I'm elaborating.
That they might get a delivery.
Yeah, that they might get a delivery and someone will rob it.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are ways around that.
What if you get burgled altogether then? And then the burglar gets your trousers. What about that then? Would that not put you off? Would you be worried about that?
Fear of getting burgled.
Yeah. Fear happened. Alan Cantwell and his fella, they went off, didn't they, a few years ago? And
Who?
They were Alan Cantwell. Is that not his name from Virgin
No, Alan
Media?
Cantwell is well, he was once upon a time.
Yeah.
But he's a newsreader.
Oh, that's not who I'm thinking of then. Another fella anyway from TV went off with his boyfriend. They had a holiday and they were Instagramming. Look at us on the beach having cocktails.
Yeah.
Alan Hughes.
That's it,
Alan
yeah.
Hughes. That's who it is.
Because Alan Cantwell, just to point out, is happily married with a number of children.
Oh, right, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why his house was never burgled. That's why his house was never burgled.
But that is, well, I mean, okay.
He couldn't go away because he had kids and he was afraid of his trousers.
The social media thing, that's because people have come back off that. You do the social media posts when you're home. This was me, this was me last week, or me for the last couple of weeks I was away, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When you're home, I agree with not doing it while you're on holiday.
Yeah, okay,
and highlighting the fact.
And what about if you had a subscription then?
I mean, these are the excuses of somebody who never wanted to go on holiday in the first place. My plants might die. I won't get me bin collected. I might get a delivery of a pair of trousers, or somebody might burgle the house.
Well, what if you're away and you start thinking, I'm after leaving the tap on, that's the house flooded. Or a light, I'm after leaving the light on.
Yeah. So before you go, double check. You're saying, I'm never going on holidays again. Because remember that one time I left the light on? It cost me an extra €15. And
€15 it was for those 2 weeks. We never got that back.
GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
There you go, some of the best bits from during the week on Morning Glory. What does your week's lie ahead? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm expecting, we've been on tenterhooks for ages waiting for the red alert to go.
I'm waiting. We were supposed to told
your kids'
at 32
arrival.
weeks we were told, right, that's it, kids are coming. We're now nearly 36 weeks, right? I'm actually waiting for Kelly to turn around and go, I'm not pregnant. At this stage, I actually don't know if there's babies in there at all.
That would be a brilliant twist.
Yeah, if she just turns around and says, I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, and then whips out a cushion and goes, ta-da!
So now you whips out a new jacket for me. I wanted to wait till it was closer to winter to give it to you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I bought you a jacket. I was trying to hide it, and then it all just spiraled out of control. Yeah. And all I could think of was to say I was pregnant.
It was either that or the virgin birth, and honestly, that's been done already. So I just went with the new jacket.
But so, literally, we may not get to our next podcast without you becoming a father.
Yeah. It's
quite
unlikely.
likely.
It's more likely for that to happen than the other way. So you can imagine what the next podcast will be about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me being tired, I'd say.
I'd say that might have
It's
a lot
just
to do with it.
amazing. Irish people ruin it on you. They just love to scare you. Nobody has a good thing to say about anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bit like that time you were getting a root canal.
Even when I went to the chipper last night, yeah, like the root canal. Having a baby here is like having a root canal. You're actually dead right. If you're dead right.
Oh, God, I wouldn't have one of them.
That's the last time one of them was like getting shot in the face, wasn't it? Ask Ronnie, he was shot in the face twice in a bank job. Where's your Ronnie? It was
I still wouldn't want a root canal.
The root canal was worse. Getting me jaw shut off was a lot easier than getting the teeth taken out. Yeah.
Well, at least half of them never had kids.
Yeah, thank God I've no kids. I swear to God, I'll get shot in the face a fourth time before I'd have kids. Yeah, people just love to scare you. So we're still amazingly through it out.
We're still waiting.
We're still amazing.
Who knows what the next podcast may bring?
Yeah, I might have to do a bank job and get shot a couple of times to pay for it all, but we'll see.
You've been listening to Glory Days, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie, or on the Nova app.